6:04 on November 4th. I'd like to note that all board members are present. And can we please stand for the pledge of allegiance? Ready? Again.
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can I get a motion for approval of the agenda with? Approval.
I second.
And no changes, right?
No changes.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion, item is approved with a 5-0 vote. And I'd like to note there is no public comment this evening. We would like to move straight into listening to our Grizzly band. We are going to move to the front. Switch.
Testing. Oh, hey, there goes. We had a microphone, but I think the batteries just died. So hopefully that's not an omen for our performance tonight. So thank you for coming. We are the CECA Grizzly Band. This is our 3rd year in existence, and we're here. We are so grateful to the board for, first of all, allowing us to start a band program. So we want to thank them, and performing tonight is such a great honor. And we've had 2 years to set up our band. We're on our 3rd year now, and you're going to hear some of the things that our students, most of which are 2nd year playing in this group, are going to perform for you tonight. The first piece that we have 2 short pieces, so they're not very long. But the first one we would like to perform is a tradition that we'd like to start at our CECA school. At the start of every big event that we have the band play, and also at the beginning of our concerts, the students have made an effort to learn our country's national anthem. So we'd like to perform the Star Spangled Banner for you. And we're going to ask if you are able, please stand for the playing of our national anthem. So students have been learning how to play in very strict time and tempo, which is a music word for time, staying in time, and we're playing some marches. So we're going to play the Thunderer March. It's been arranged by Michael Story, but it is a piece by John Philip Sousa, who was in the President's own Marine Corps band for many years in the early 1900s, and he wrote so many marches. So we'd like to perform one of those pieces for you today. This is going to demonstrate our students being able to keep that very strict military time of 120 beats per minute. We hope you enjoy the Thunderer March. So very much, and again, we are so thankful to the board. Let's thank them with a big round of applause for making this happen at CECA. So, and with that, we'd like to hand it off to whoever is next.
Yeah, top that. Top that. That was amazing. Awesome.
That was wonderful. Let's give them another round of applause. You guys were in the band. Yeah. I used to pretend my flute was broken so I could be a professional. Well done, guys. Moving on, we are on the advisory committee report.
Good evening. So we had our PCAT meeting today, so it makes it even easier to be able to report on it, having had it just a few hours ago. So we discussed several key topics in our meeting. The great shakeout feedback. The committee reviewed the emergency drill feedback, highlighting the need for additional tools such as chalk and cribbing materials and station identification flags. We also discussed clarifying grade level locations on the field during drills. So normally they have a fire drill, but this time they did a total drill where they really discovered some things. We did a vision review. Members provided input on potential updates to the school's vision statement to ensure alignment with our current goals and programs. We did academic data review. The committee examined comparative STAR assessment data from the beginning of the year to the most recent fall testing window for grades 3 to 5, and results showed encouraging growth. A 5% increase in students scoring proficient or advanced in reading, and a 7% increase in math. Charter updates, we reviewed proposed updates to the charter's lottery procedures, including clarifying definitions for sibling and employee status and outlining the priority order, confirming the response window for families offering placement. We also did, of course, a PBIS review where we visited PBIS protocols, focus on teaching and reteaching positive behavior expectations, as well as reinforcement systems across campus. We did facility updates. Members received updates on ongoing school projects, including the baseball field construction, which began this week, and the installation of the TK bathroom access door. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so very much. All right, moving on to our consent calendar. Does anyone have any items on the consent calendar they would like to hold? Seeing none, can I get a motion?
I'll move. I'll second it.
All right, first from board member Bannister, a second from board member Avila. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to board superintendent comments. Any additional administrative comments or information?
No.
All right, and moving on to board member comments.
I would just like to say I was really impressed with that work.
Yeah.
First and second year, music's, it was an important part of my life. And just to see these kids, I was telling some, they're like little sponges, their little minds just absorb all this stuff and all the things are just being put together there. And it just raises one's intelligence and one's ability to read and interpret. Music is just a phenomenal thing, and these kids are they're just wonderful. Just a true example of what music can do to the body and soul.
Very well, David. I echo that. And congratulations on the test scores, the very encouraging numbers. Keep up the great work.
I would also like to comment, not just the sound of the band, but their presence. They were very professional and very polished. That added to it was very impressive in that way. Middle school kids are squirrely. Those guys in the band were professional.
It was outstanding. It was gave me chills. I loved it. They did such a phenomenal job. It was great.
I would agree. Glad to see the baseball fields getting moving there, and the test scores phenomenal. Good job, everybody. And I'm so glad to see another creative outlet for our students. Congratulations on a successful start to the new program. And with that, I believe we get to adjourn at 6:19. All right, I'd like to call to order the YCJUSD Unified School District one and other boards of education meeting on November 4th.
Right, yes.
Let's stand for the pledge of allegiance. Ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I would like to note that all board members are present, with the exception of Ken Baum, our student board member, who's not in attendance today. Do I have any changes to the agenda? No changes. Seeing no changes, do I have a motion for approval of the agenda as written?
Move.
Okay, go ahead, David. I have a first by board member Avila and a second by clerk Miller. All those in favor? Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. I have a couple highlights tonight, from Valley Elementary School. Presentation from hang on, I'm going back to 3.05. I do have a report out from closed session. The Board of Education took action on a motion made by Regina Cruz and a second by Debbie Miller, followed by a 5-0 vote to appoint Denise Feinberg to the position of Principal Expanded Learning Opportunities Program. This is a new position, and we will soon to follow will be a search for a new Calumet principal. Denise, did you stay? Would you like to say a few words? All right, come on up.
Our esteemed cabinet and school board, please accept my deepest and most sincere gratitude for this opportunity. I profoundly appreciate the trust and confidence you have placed in me. I truly believe the ELOP program represents a critical opportunity to extend our positive influence, making an even greater impact on our students' growth and success beyond the traditional school day. Our focus will be on designing a highly engaging and enriching environment, the cornerstone of successful holistic learning. I am more than ready to roll up my sleeves and fully dedicate myself to this vital work. So thank you again for your vision and support. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Right, getting back to our highlights for the evening, I'd like to invite up our Valley Elementary School principal, Mr. Chris Farstad.
Good evening, President Vogt, members of the board, Superintendent Banks, and cabinet. I'm Chris Rexett, principal of Valley Elementary, and my colleague, Melissa Crosby, our dean of students. We and all of the amazing staff members here tonight appreciate you being here. Lighthouse Leader in Me School tonight, we want to showcase our school for you. Just a little history for you. 10 years ago, we were looking to rebrand our school. We found The Leader in Me, which is based on the Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We took it and ran with it. 4 years later, we became a lighthouse school, which only 13% of over the 5,000 schools worldwide attained. We are proud of our staff and students who work so hard to maintain this status.
We wanted to highlight some of our ELA and math focus areas for you tonight. In English language arts, our primary grades have really been focusing on phonemic awareness, which is auditory work with individual sounds and spoken word, and phonics, which is our auditory and visual work with letters and sounds. Most of our primary grade teachers, who's some of them are here tonight, have been trained in Orton Gillingham, which is a teaching approach, and are using Haggerty, which is a supplemental phonics and phonemic awareness curriculum. Our specialized academic instruction teachers, or SAI teachers, are also using common prep times and teacher collaboration days to work with our general ed teachers.
They are lesson planning with gen ed teachers, so that they can push in to the classrooms and better support the students on their caseload, as well as other students that may benefit from the extra support. With our SAI teachers working so closely with our gen ed, teachers, we are continuing to move forward and make progress with our inclusion model and making Valley an inclusive school for all students. Also, a few years ago, we saw a dip in our math scores that we hadn't seen before. Since then, we have made it a school-wide priority to focus on math. We do math intervention Monday through Thursday for 30 minutes every morning, and it is all hands on deck. We have our PE, STEAM, and all aides working with groups of students. All teachers are differentiating to meet the needs of students in their group, whether that be reteaching or enrichment for their groups. All of this hard work from the teachers and the students is evident by an improvement in our ELA with an increase in distance from standard in 2025 at -42. Previously, it was -51. And in math, there was an increase in distance from standard in 2025 at -42. Previously, it was -53. Our goal this year is to improve in both ELA and math by 20 points.
School-wide WIGs, which are wildly important goals. And that's everybody on campus, from myself to students, everyone has these goals. And one of our big areas of improvement we were looking for was in our English learners. 39% of them improved at least one LP level, and that stands for English Language Progress Indicator. And that's all because of Ms. Claudia and Ms. Isabel, our ELAs, working in the Learning Center. This team, which includes our targeted intervention specialist, Tamara Schoonover, provides tier 3 intervention. These students get the small group in class with their teacher, but also then get an extra dose in the Learning Center, whether that be for reading instruction or English language support. 7 of our EL students were reclassified in 2025. That means in this way, they are now officially taken out of the English learner status. Students set these wildly important goals that I was mentioning. That's a school-wide goal there, but students set up their individual ones also, which can be academic and behavior, all kinds of different things. Some of our school-wide ones, the one that we're focusing on this year, is absenteeism, and that is down. And actually, gotta give you a new insight here. I turned the slideshow in, and we were at 96% attendance rate, and we are now 97 as of this week. So we are feeling super great about that. 23-24, we were 94%, and 24-25, we were 95%. That extra percentage increase really is a couple different things, but most importantly, it's about our work from independent study contracts. Michelle Knapp, our secretary, she's the attendance clerk. Her job is attendance, and she takes it on very personally when kids are absent. So she wants to make sure we make all that up. So she has done 205 and counting independent study contracts in 12 weeks of school. So that's the state. They've given us this chance to be creative with this. And so we're really going to go after it, and we're doing it. So we also had this crazy idea. It's usually me with the crazy ideas, as you may have heard in the past, but Ms. Crosby had this one this time. She said, hey, we should have 100% attendance a day. Like that's the goal. We want every single student here. And we did it on last week, Wednesday, which was pajama day. So always it was, hey, just roll out of bed and come to school in your pajamas. And it's easy, parents, just get them here. Well, we had 12 absent out of 530. So wasn't 100%, but it was really, really good. And we were super excited about that. One little girl, her mom told me, she works at the school. So she told me later, she said, hey, my daughter got up this morning and went, oh, no. She said, what's wrong? Well, I forgot to roll out of bed. They're listening, folks. They're listening. We're super excited. It's all our pajamas on, but she forgot to roll out of bed. You know, things we say. Another really important piece for us this year as a school-wide WIG is as our staff is really getting into some discussions about standards and using our focus standards to fine-tune our teaching. And one of those, as Melissa said, is our math, but we're also using these focus standards for both math and ELA. And this, our goal is to improve our overall performance in those two areas as well.
Next, we would like to talk about some of our major accomplishments. As you may know, Valley was awarded the PBIS Platinum Award for the 4th year in a row. This speaks to our school-wide culture with Leader in Me and how we've managed to merge the two so that our Leader in Me supports the PBIS tiers. Part of Leader in Me and PBIS is building community relationships. We worked really hard to reach out and partner with some of our local businesses that love to support the students, families, and staff at Valley Elementary. Some of our partnerships include Mr. 7-Eleven, who owns the 7-Eleven on Ukiah Boulevard and Oak Glen Road, since there's quite a few in town, we need to be specific. Students with perfect attendance get a free hot dog and a Slurpee, so he donates that to the students when they come in. We partnered with Chick-fil-A. They've done some parent engagement nights for us and provided nourishment for staff meetings. And we also had Solano's HVAC. He's a community member here. He came to help Miss Santos back there in the back. As she revamped over summer our garden, she got a huge grant and she worked really hard over that. But several community members, including him, came out to volunteer their time. Many of them, like Mr. Solano, don't have kids at Valley Elementary. They saw that she put out a call to help on all the Facebook pages and everything, and so they showed up to come and help us. So we really appreciate that. Last, we started our first chess club with students that go to STARS. It was a really great hit with the kids. They loved it. They were enthusiastic, and this enthusiasm led to a Saturday tournament with Dunlap Elementary. It was a great time seeing the students and their parents excited. Some children that were in STARS we never would have thought of would like chess. It's something that didn't even cross our minds, but they did a really great job, and we're going to continue that this year. And none of these accomplishments would be possible without the amazing team at Valley. Certificated, classified, community members, families, and STARS all make these wonderful events, activities, and accomplishments possible for us.
All right, so some of the amazing events at Valley Elementary we just are super proud of, and one is Dr. Nesson mentioned at the last board meeting. So we're super proud of our Million Fathers March, and I want you to see this picture because, sure, thank you, everybody. It's the Million Fathers March was an event that we put on with the help of our PTA, and they really thought of it first, and we just kind of ran with it. But we had over 250 father figures at school that day for the first the first hour and a half of school, and they just had a great time. The purpose is to really just show kids that, hey, my dad cares, and to show dads, hey, this is a big deal. You need to come and support your child at school. So we're really excited about that. And we're going to go on, and I'm going to subtly challenge my colleagues in elementary school to do the same thing next year. So citywide Million Father March, I think would just be an outstanding time. Another great event is our PTA Fall Festival. And you think, what's the big deal about that? Well, part of it is we all have them. Everybody has one, and it's a great time. But we really changed it this year. Went out on a limb and made it a Saturday instead of a Friday night. And we added an intramural game, and we had great feedback and success. It was a wonderful time for everyone to come and really enjoy. Another school-wide student-led parent-teacher conferences will happen this month. It's a chance for students to show their leadership, portfolios, and progress. And I would have brought you some of those tonight, but they're all building them, getting them ready for a week and a half. So they're not quite ready to be shared yet. But also, then of course, you can see one of those pictures there was very subtle. Slime the Principal Day, which is now becoming a national event also all of a sudden. It's a PTA event where they sell enough wonderful things for the PTA Fall fundraiser. And if you sell 10 or more, you get to slime the principal. For 59 students of the 530 toss a cup of slime. That means so it's wonderful. Next year, you're gonna have to sell 25 items. I've already decided. Maybe it'll be 4 kids with that. So also a big part of our change this last couple of years has been facilitated IEPs. And I've mentioned this a few months before, but it's really important for us to feel like the parents and the team really are super engaged. And we just want to streamline some of these things and just make it a very good time of learning for everyone. And just some of the comments parents have given is they felt included. You've answered all of my questions. Everyone was clear and made it easier to understand. And we liked that everyone gave their input. So it's just a good time and just one of those extra pieces we're really working hard on. And then also one of the things that was super great this year, we've done it in the past, but it was a bigger event this year, was our counselor, Mrs. Vargas, got her student lighthouse team, that's the student leaders, together and went out and found gently used Halloween costumes so that they could give out costumes to kids that don't have a chance to get one a couple weeks before Halloween. So that was a great event. That's that picture there, and they're just having a great time. Students were blessed with the costumes, but also the leaders were also able to say, wow, we're doing some good things and helping kids here. So that's a really big deal. It's an honor and a privilege to serve Valley community Melissa and I are thrilled and thankful for this amazing Valley team that allows us to lead them into new heights. We're all making a difference in the life of each child. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, that was wonderful. I love that you're building community relations. I just think Yucaipa is our village and we need to do that, so I appreciate that. Great slideshow and good, congratulations on all that you're doing. Yes.
And as a working board member, I can't always get out to the sites, so these kind of things are very important to me. So thank you very much for the time you put into it, I appreciate it a lot.
Take a day off and come by.
P.S. Calamasa is our village too.
Oh, yeah.
But when we went to publicize the Marine Follow March and a couple other things, our leadership day, to both city councils, because you're right, we have kids in both cities and it's super important thing. It was a great time. In that picture, you can see Councilman Cundiff is in that picture, so he was there. So no, sorry, not that one, the one that.
The father.
Yeah. It's a great time. So we're reaching out to
That's awesome.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks for your presentation.
Item 4.02, another highlight for Mesa View Middle School, this is Perez. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Board President Bogue, Clerk Miller, members of the board, Superintendent Biggs and Cabinet for having me. And special thanks to Lance for putting me after Mr. Rexstack, because that is a tough act to follow. But I am super excited for letting me speak tonight on behalf of Mesa View Middle School. And I'm also excited to share with you one of our very own Mustangs, Miss Scarlett Pace. We're going to tag team the speech tonight together. So I'm excited to share where we are as a school, academically, socially, as in a staff community. And Mr. Rex said even took some of my jokes, but as we continue to move forward, we have a strong team and many of those members are here this afternoon. Well done. And so as we move forward this year, we've really set some intentional priorities, really focusing on our academics, really looking at how to extend learning opportunities besides outside of the classroom from bell to bell, really putting back into our staff, both certificated and classified, with the professional development opportunities we're providing, and also really just continue to enhance that school culture and that positive vibe that we have at Mesa View. And so with that, all the work that we do is grounded in intentional planning and really focusing on not leaving that student success or teacher success up to chance, but really being intentional in everything that we're doing. And we've put a lot of our focus on our Friday collaborations that we have, where teachers have the opportunity to work in grade level teams and subject teams, and really using our data to drive that instruction on everything that we do. So not only do we hold ourselves accountable for what we're putting in the classrooms, but also for creating those conditions in the class where all students can be successful. As you can see up here, we have some academic highlights here, and part of that data that drives instruction is using some of those common assessments that we're giving our students to track their progress, identify areas that they're really excelling in, but then also figuring out areas where we could support them and really target those instructional practices. And if you can see up here, shout out to our 7th grade math team. If you look on the left with the 24-25 data and the 25-26 data, green is good. And so we're going in the right direction. And so it's not just about those kids at the top, but also those kids at the bottom, and really being able to provide opportunities for them to be successful and monitor their growth and really move them up that next band to get closer to that standard and close that achievement gap across the board. Another piece of that reflects that accountability piece. I think all of us at Mesa View hold each other accountable, not only in our teacher collaboration, but in our admin, our staff meetings, and really every day we sit on campus. It's a commitment to the kiddos, and we hold that as a high priority for everything that we do. One of our big highlights this year that we're really targeting are our expanded learning opportunities. And so these are opportunities to extend learning outside of the classroom. And so we've already, and Scarlett's going to talk about some of the programs, but we have over 25 before and after school programs where students can come before school or stay after school and receive academic support, but also enriching opportunities. We've created a list of fun and exciting ideas where students could work together, really critical think, but also collaborate. And a lot of the programs that we have at Mesa View are student driven. They have come to us and pitched the ideas, having an academic advisor, having a group of students who want to participate in these clubs, and we run with it. And I think that's an important thing to really develop that school community, is really supporting those students' ideas. Next piece that we really targeted this year is our professional development. And so structured student interactions in middle school are one of the most important pieces. That direct instruction piece for middle school students, and I think Scarlett could speak to that. It drags out sometimes. We need those students to be up and moving and interacting and engaging and collaborating with one another. And so we were able to not only bring in Kagan cooperative learning, but we've sent over 15 staff members to a full day of training to really replenish their toolkit and take some of those structures back into the classroom. Another one Mesa View hangs our hat on is our safety teams. Our safety team uses that CERT model, which is the community emergency response training. And we've developed those structures to have a really robust program where we have teams and we're able to secure our campus in case of any big emergency. And we continue to practice. We'll actually take the feedback from the grade shakeout drill and we'll practice again in the second semester running the dry drill without the students on campus to just fine tune and continue to improve in everything that we're doing. Writing is another big area. We want to continue to support our students writing at the middle school ages. So we've partnered with the UCLA Inland Area Writing Project, a two-part series for professional development to have that consistent writing across all subjects and strategies to improve students' writing skills. And the last piece, and I think one of the most important piece, is really providing that staff self-care. And staff self-care, not just for certificated, but classified, but for administration, for families, and for everybody. Because I think that we know, the half glass full, we can't pour if our cup is empty. We need to pour back into our teachers and our staff and everybody across the board so we can all be ready for our students every day. Last but not least, and one of my favorite parts about being at Mesa View is our school culture. We have been designated by the National Forum and the California Schools to Watch program as a middle school to watch. And we will continue to do our reevaluation next year for the redesignation. And then we'll continue with our PBIS Platinum. We are at the 3P, kind of like I think the Dodgers are trying to do. But as we continue to work, we want to just support students' behaviors and provide that positive reinforcement. But then also create an inclusive environment where students feel safe, where students can learn, and we're really supporting them in their academics, but also in their social, in their homes, and really supporting the diverse community that students come to us, and really creating a sense of belonging and creating a sense of purpose while they're on our campus. And a huge piece of that is our mental health programs that have additions to our 2 school counselors, our mental health associate, our counselor on assignment, the amazing wellness center that we have on our campus now. So we really have many supports to address students across the board. And I can stand up here and speak all day about Mesa View's programs, but I think one of the most important is our students' voice. And so with that, I will turn that over to Sarah.
I'm an 8th grader at Mesa View Middle School. I just want to start off by saying how honored I am to be able to speak on behalf of all students at Mesa View Middle School. Middle school can be a very scary time in a kid's life, but Mesa View has made this experience enjoyable. There's so much to offer depending on your interests. From band, sports, Dungeons and Dragons, running club, art, crocheting, reading, and engineering clubs. There's something for everyone's interests. I've been able to participate in the great band program for all 3 years. Mr. King has made band fun, and we get to experience competitions with other schools, and because Mr. King is so great, we get to win. And I wouldn't be speaking today if it wasn't for student council. Student council created such a positive environment. They're able to be responsible for making each student feel like they belong. Keeping our minds busy on things that are fun and engaging is so good for our mental health. Being involved in extracurricular activities gives you a feeling of purpose, so we are so lucky that the staff worked so hard to provide these to us. The counselors are also so great. If you are struggling with anything, they are there 100%. They even make sure to check on you from time to time. I feel so at home at Mesa View, and I speak for everyone when I say I am so grateful that the teachers and staff make sure every student always feels important and seen. I am truly gonna miss Mesa View, and thank you all, and thank you, Mr. Perez, for giving me this opportunity.
That's Scarlett up there with our Mustang and a lot of the great programs that she's in. But thank you, and I will open it up for any questions or comments.
Anybody have any questions or comments for either of them?
Great presentation, Jeremy. It just makes me very happy how well Mesa View is doing. And I want to acknowledge all the hard work that it's taken to build the community that you have there. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
I just wanted to quickly say that I do appreciate both presentations. You guys did a tremendous job, and it shows what great leadership that you have. So Vikings in the house. You guys are doing a tremendous job, and all the Mustangs.
I think that's a competition, right?
What's that, Chris?
Great job to both of you guys and all of you for being there for the staff and for the kids, just like his case. Good job, great job.
I love something you said that academics are important, but that the students also have a sense of belonging, and I do feel that when I go to Mesa View, and I just love that. And it's important for kids to come to school and feel like they're special and that they belong. So I like that. Scarlett, great job.
Thank you for taking the time again to present. Scarlett, thank you for this is kind of incredible. Again, thank you and have a good night.
Awesome, thank you guys.
All right, moving on to public comments. We have 5 speakers this evening, and each will be allotted 3 minutes. Our first speaker will be Christine Doherty. Welcome, Christine.
Yeah. Cabinet members, school board members, and superintendent mates. My name is Christine Doherty, and I am the president of the YCJUSD Educators Association. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening. First, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to the board members who have taken time this month to meet and work collaboratively with our executive board. We value the open communication that has begun, and we look forward to continuing strengthening these relationships. I also want to thank those of you who responded to the recent emails from our district educators. Your acknowledgement of their hard work, dedication, the time it took to share their experiences truly means a great deal. The recognition is important. As you likely noticed while reading some of these emails, a common and pressing concern among our educators is the rising cost of our healthcare. While we understand that this increase was not a decision made directly by the board, we are feeling the impacts of government decisions outside of our control. However, we also recognize that you play a crucial role in guiding the district's budget and setting and spending priorities. We understand the complexity of managing restricted funds, general funds, grants, and reserves, but for our employees, these healthcare increases represent real economic hardships. This is particularly true for our youngest employees, especially those with families. Our educators are already carrying immense responsibilities. They are working tirelessly to raise student achievement in classrooms. They have never had learning needs this complex in many years. They are navigating new state-mandated assessments and screeners, expanding district CFA protocols, and managing student behaviors that have become more complex, and ensuring the physical and emotional safety of every child in their classroom, all while striving to build positive self-images and confidence within their students.
We made strides in managing student mental health and educators providing most of those supports. But the truth is, many are beginning to bend under the weight of it all. The expectations continue to rise and the pressures are mounting. Affordable healthcare should not be one more burden for our dedicated educators to carry. School challenges are stressful and under the best of circumstances, and these new pressures add personal worries to professional concerns. This evening, I urge you to take a close look at the district's budget priorities and consider how you can help relieve this pressure on YCJUSD employees. Supporting affordable healthcare is not only an investment in our educators, it's an investment in the well-being and success of their students, our students. Please prioritize the mental health and stability of the very people who make learning possible every day. When our educators are cared for, our students and community thrive. Thank you.
Members of the board, superintendent Yates, and valued members of the community. My name is Brandy Gardner. I have been a paraprofessional in this district for over 20 years. I am also the treasurer and a negotiator for the California School Employees Association. As I stand here before you, I think of what my motivation is to continue working in our district, as I have for the last 22 years. I remind myself it is for the love of kids and seeing them being successful. Every day, our school employees show up not just to do a job, but to build a future. They are in classrooms before the sun rises. They greet students with warmth, clean halls that thousands walk through daily, serve meals that keep children nourished, and create spaces where learning can truly happen. But behind the smiles and tireless effort, so many are struggling with costs of living that is continuing to grow. We see increases in rents, insurance, groceries, gas, and childcare. Paychecks stay the same or are shrinking due to those increased costs. The math is not adding up. When people who keep our schools running can't afford to live in the very communities in which they work, something is deeply wrong. Closing the pay gap isn't just about fairness, it's about dignity, respect, and sustainability. It's about telling every school employee, we see you, we value you, and you deserve to thrive, not just survive. If we truly believe education is the foundation of our future, then we must invest in the people who help keep it going every single day. We are not asking for luxury. We are asking for livability. We're asking that this district stand by the principle that every employee deserves to work with dignity, to live without the fear of falling behind. So tonight, we ask you to lessen the gap. Do what's right for the people who support this district every single day. Because we are classified employees. When classified employees are supported, our students will thrive. And when our schools thrive, our entire community thrives with them. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kenny Hall. I'm an interventionist at Chapman Heights Elementary. I want you to look around, take a moment to see the dedicated, passionate educators in this room. But I have to ask, are we setting them up for success? Or are we setting them up to burnout? The truth is, many of our teachers feel less like educators and more like initiative accumulators. we created the hidden curriculum, the curriculum of too much. To be an effective teacher, you must juggle three essential weighty items. This brain. This brain represents the cognitive, the planning, the data analysis, the new framework, the next mandated strategy. This is what you think about. This heart is the affective, the emotional labor, the building of relationships, the compassion needed to reach their students. This is what you feel. And this hand represents the practical, the actual teaching in the classroom, the grading, the communicating with parents. This is what you do. And we're already juggling these three vital elements every day. Okay. We're juggling these three elements, but every time a new well-intentioned initiative lands on a teacher's desk, it's like throwing a fourth or a fifth and a sixth ball into the air. And at a certain point, it's no longer juggling. It becomes a moment of impossible complexity where we're forced to let something drop. And all too often, the items we let fall are the heart and the hand. The core work of connecting with and teaching students because the brain is overwhelmed with compliance. If our mission is to make a meaningful difference for each student, then why do we allow our teachers' time to be dominated by tasks that only serve the system? We don't need more ideas. We need fewer, better ideas. The conversation we need isn't about implementation. It's about de-implementation. Peter DeWitt speaks to this best. Today's educators are buried under old practices, new ideas, and recommended initiatives. The problem? With such an abundance of strategies, it's hard to recognize what, if anything, is working. Before you're tempted to add just one more idea to the pile, take a step back, an objective look so that you, central office leaders, building leaders, and teachers can decide which practices to keep, which to modify, and which to eliminate altogether. We need a conversation about de-implementation, which DeWitt defines as the process of stopping the use of an educational practice that isn't working or that is taking the place of something more effective. Stopping the use of a practice that is distracting us from the main goal. If we are serious about helping students, we must ask one fundamental question before launching any new program. What are we going to stop doing to make room for this? It's a principle understood across millennia. Neither do people pour wine into old wineskins. If they do, the old wineskins will burst. The wine will run out and the wineskins will be ruined. No, they pour new wine into new wineskins and both are preserved. Matthew 9:16-17. Our students don't need teachers who are master jugglers of compliance. They need teachers who have the time and energy to focus their brain, their heart, and their hand on what truly matters: powerful instruction, genuine connection, and deep learning. It's time to be ruthless about protecting their time and energy. Let's start taking balls out of the air so our teachers can finally catch what counts. Yeah, handout, that's just, it's not exhaustive, but that's a lot of balls that teachers are juggling daily and weekly.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Candy Solano. Come on up.
Hello, good evening, cabinet, school board members, and superintendent. My name is Candy Solano, and I'm the targeted intervention specialist at Mesa Elementary School. And every day I have the privilege of working with students who need extra support to reach their full potential. I see firsthand how deeply teachers and specialists impact not just academic success, but also students' confidence, stability, and hope for the future. Our work is about helping every child feel seen and capable, and that's something we take to heart every single day. But as passionate as we are about our students, the reality is that the cost of living continues to rise. Our healthcare is set to increase. For my family of 4, this is approximately $1,500 more yearly. And for many others, it's significantly more than that. Groceries, gas, housing, everything costs more, yet our paychecks don't stretch as far as they once did. And when healthcare costs go up too, through higher premiums, deductibles, copays, it feels like we are taking a step backward financially, even as we work harder than ever for our students. I grew up in Yucaipa, I attended our schools here, and I now have my own children here in our district.
And I've always felt our district has prided itself on being family oriented, caring for one another, supporting our community, and treating staff as part of that extended family. I ask that as you move forward in negotiations, you remember that spirit. Consider the people who show up every day for our students and the families behind those educators who are affected by these decisions. I love this district and I am proud to serve here. I just want to continue doing that without worrying about how to make ends meet. Thank you for your time, your understanding, and your continued commitment to the people who make this district what it is.
Mrs. Small, I'd like to invite up Jenna back.
Good evening, members of the school board and cabinet and superintendents. My name is Jenna Beck and I teach at Wildwood Elementary, and I'm here to speak on behalf of a fellow colleague. Dear members of the Yucaipa Joint Unified School Board, I am ready to express my sincere concern about the current state of teacher compensation and healthcare benefits within our district. As members of this community, we depend on our teachers to educate, inspire, and support our students every single day. To continue to do this important work effectively, our educators must be treated with fairness, respect, and genuine appreciation. Teachers dedicate countless hours, both inside and outside of the classroom, to ensure every student has the opportunity to succeed. Yet many are struggling with the rising cost of living and increasing expenses for healthcare. Fair pay and reasonable healthcare costs are not luxuries, they are basic necessities that allow teachers to focus on their students rather than financial stress. When teachers feel valued and supported, it creates a positive ripple effect throughout the entire school community. Students benefit from educators who are motivated, focused, and able to give their best. Retaining high-quality teachers and attracting new talent also depends on how we show that this district truly respects the people who make learning possible. I urge the board to take meaningful action to ensure its teachers receive fair compensation and affordable health care. Investing in our educators is as important investment in our students and in the future of Yucaipa-Cal-Mesa. Thank you for your time and for your continued commitment to our schools and community.
Thank you to everyone here in attendance this evening. The next item on the agenda is the student board member report. As you can see, she is not in attendance this evening, so that moves us on to section 7, item number 7.01. We have school services California agreement. I need a motion for approval of an agreement with the school services of California and authorize the superintendent designee to sign the agreement. Do you have any information on this?
I'd just like to thank the board for considering. Thanks. Yeah, I'm always too loud. Nope. Okay, try this way. The board considering this will give us ample opportunity to work with one of the leading search firms in our state that will provide opportunity for us to find a chief business official. And I do want to point out that the date on this contract says October, but there have been no services that have been done. This is just the contract. They sent us the date of the board meeting. We didn't get it on the agenda. And so that date will change and we'll have a new contract. I checked with the county and it'll be able to be processed, but I just wanted to let you know that the contract will stay exactly the same except for the date changing to tomorrow if the board so approves.
So it sounds like I need a motion for approval with a date change.
Move approval.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion on this?
I think it would be a good time to point out that Mrs. Binks has been filling this role for the past, so she wears a lot of hats, this gal. And she's done a fine job, and she has also, by filling that role with the support of the staff in the business office who've gone above and beyond. In fulfilling that role, she's been able to get some insights, and it's going to help us to use that to find the perfect person to fill this job. And I appreciate the amount of time and the extra effort on top of all the extra effort that you put in. for us to have that insight into this, and I look forward to getting this position filled, so you can take that hat off.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion by member Bannister and a second by member Avila. All those in favor? Aye. Chair votes aye, motion passes with the date change, 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.02. Can I get a motion for approval of a second review on board policy 3515, campus security?
So move.
I'll send a second. I'll second. I have any discussion on this one? Okay, I have a first by board member Avila and a second by board member Cruz. All those in favor? Aye. Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.03. Approve the second review for board policy 3540 on transportation. Can I get a motion for approval? I'll second. Any questions on this one? Within a motion by, it was Miller, correct? And a second by Cruz, correct? All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 votes. Moving on to 7.04, equipment purchase and maintenance. Can I get a motion for approval on the purchase of one Green Master, I believe it's a lawnmower, for our new softball field? Is my understanding. Move approval on this one?
I'll move.
And I'll second
And
it.
a second from Bannister. Any questions on this one? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with the 5-0.
Yeah.
I want to ride that lawnmower.
Yes. Moving on to 7.05, we need a motion for approval on the purchase of an updated multimedia technology. High school. I have a motion for approval on that.
Move approval.
Bannister, second that. Any questions on that one? I have a first from Bannister and a second from Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.06. Looking for a motion to accept the Southern California Edison Self-Generation Incentive Program grant and approve the agreement with Southern California.
Move approval.
Bannister. Can I get a second from Miller? Any information on this one?
Yes, I'd like to ask Adam Johnson to come and talk a little bit about the acceptance of the Edison grant and what our next steps are.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Steve. So I just prepared a quick refresher of kind of where we're at with the battery energy storage system and how we got here. So as a quick refresher, back in April, we teamed up with SoCal West Coast Electric and secured a self-generation incentive program, or a SGIP grant, bringing in $3.5 million to support the battery energy storage system, or the BESS project. This system will allow Yucaipa High School to stay powered during outages by storing and using energy from our solar arrays, which will be getting underway this month. To boost reliability even further, the BESS is designed to work alongside the natural gas generator. That means we'll be able to keep school operations running smoothly, even during longer power outages and during public safety power shutoffs. Something Edison has told us will continue to impact us in the high fire ranges. Beyond the reliability piece, the system will also save us money by utilizing stored energy during peak pricing times, cutting down on our dependence on the grid when electricity costs are at their highest. SoCal West Coast Electric has wrapped up the design phase and received the SGIP approval for the proposed equipment. And with that in place, we're ready to move forward with implementation once we have board approval. That's kind of where we're at. If you guys have any questions, I can answer those for you.
Questions?
I have a question. Do we have a rough timeline? Of when, if we approve it tonight, then how quickly does this move?
You know, I'm not exactly sure. I do have representatives from SoCal West Coast here. They might be able to shed a little bit of light on that. If Andy or
I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I just.
there's a lot of back and forth, but they might be able to shed a little bit of light on that for you.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you.
thank you.
Welcome. Remind us of your name today.
I'm Andrew Burchard with SoCal West Coast Electric.
Okay, we'll put it on.
So we heard the question, roughly the timeline. So, because this project is gonna require DSA approval and submission, we expect that process to take approximately 6 months.
That's the state architect.
It is, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay, so that
Yeah.
slows everything down.
So there are some steps we can start to, take while we're working on that process, but, once we have DSA approval, the construction shouldn't take any longer than a year. So approximately 18 months
Okay,
from start to finish.
all right, very good.
Just before I know that there's other schools that have opportunity for this that we can look at in the future, and before you sit down, Adam, I would you remind the board of those schools.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, so we kind of looked into what requirements are needed to qualify for this SCHIP incentive. And so Kayvon actually had done some research for us. And there are several schools, I don't remember exactly how many right now, but there are several schools that land in that high fire area. Parkview, Mesa View are two for sure. There are a couple others that sit right on the border. So for instance, Valley Elementary, directly across the street is a high fire area. But it also could be argued that it would be used as maybe an evacuation zone. And so it would probably qualify. At least there's an argument for that. Cal Mesa is another one, Wildwood. So there's quite a few schools in the district that very well could qualify as long as there's funding still in the SCHIP.
Okay,
Thank you.
and where does that funding come from? Is that a state program or is it Edison's program?
It's partially funded by Edison. You guys want to put it in?
Yeah.
I just want to know how reliable it is.
So it is a state funded program, but they do administer it through public utilities. And it's a fund that is reserved within the California Public Utility Commission. So the money is already reserved and set aside, sitting in a bank. And they implement the funds through different administrators. And because you guys are SoCal Edison customer, that's who we would use as the administrator.
Okay, I'm real interested in this because funding seems to come and go.
Yeah.
And so the money has been set aside by the state and is like in an escrow account kind of thing?
It is, yeah. It's actually in an escrow account, collecting interest. And we have already reserved the funds. So the funds at this point are guaranteed.
For the program that we're applying for the high school program?
For your guys' high school.
Okay, but if we wanted to do future programs.
Yeah, we would go through the same process. So we would do the analysis. We would submit to SCHIP and then have funds for those different locations reserved as well.
Okay, so as long as the legislature of California has the will to fund this stuff, the money will be there. We're not depending on the federal government for this.
That's correct. Yeah, this is strictly for the state of California. And like I said, even if legislation changes now, anything we have reserved will still be there. It's not.
The escrow account is safe, yeah.
It can't disappear through the process.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
When are we gonna start looking into the other schools before the money runs out?
Well.
We're looking at, we're doing our own internal feasibility study with Mr. Klein and Mr. Johnson, and then and Mrs. Banks as the CBO, and of course Amber as well, to see where the priorities would lie. And we really want to work with Lance and our emergency services team, which includes our fire department, police department, because we do want to be an evacuation shelter. If something were to come about in our community, we want to be that resource. And so we want to plan that a little more strategically with them. But we knew the high school, the mothership, the one that carries the phones and the internet and all of that we wanted to take care of that one first. There is matching funds that are needed, not quite matching, but there's a need for us to contribute to it as well. So we're looking at what that would look like as well.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I will add that this particular SCHIP is, from my understanding with talking to these gentlemen, is pretty difficult to get. I mean, you have to have quite a few things lined up. Unfortunately for us, we have those things because we are in a high fire area. which also is in a high PSPA, or public safety power shut off events through Edison. So a lot of this area lands in that area, in that, and so, you know, we're able to qualify for it.
Okay. Well,
Unfortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, thank you.
With a, motion from Bannister and a second from Miller, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. We're moving on to 7.07, Calamasa Elementary School upgraded technology, right? Yes. Can I get a motion for approval of the purchase of upgraded technology cabinets, switches, and battery backup systems for Vector USA?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second.
any questions on this one? First from Avila and a second from Minister, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.08, the Stanberry uniforms for Ucaipa High School. Anyone want to give me a motion for approval for the purchase of marching band uniforms for Stanberry? From Stanberry,
Approve.
second from, I have a first for, any questions on that one? First from Avila, second from Cruz, all those in favor?
Aye. And I just,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, I just want to, think we should point out that the funds for that came from the proposition that got passed a couple of years ago. No?
This is from the Arts Music Instructional Block Grant.
Oh, block
Funds.
grant, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.09. Can I get a motion for approval on resolution R9? Certifying Ucaipa Calamasa Joint Unified School District as an independent study curriculum for the 25-26 school year.
Move approval.
And a second,
Second.
any questions or discussion? All those, first from Bannister and a second from Avila, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.10. Can I get a motion for approval, to appoint parent representative to the East Valley Special Education, local plan area community advisory committee?
Yeah, move approval.
Can I get a second? Any questions on that one? First from Bannister, second from Cruz, all those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Moving on to 7.11, can I get a motion for approval? With the agreement for the RISE interpreting and authorize the superintendent or designee to sign the agreement.
Move approval.
And then a second,
Second.
I'll go on the second. Any questions on that one? Any permission? We're good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes with a 5-0 vote. I'm sorry, Stella, that was Bannister with the first and Avila with the second. Moving on to 7.12. Can I get a motion for approval to adopt resolution R11, recognizing November 3rd through 7th as National School Psychology Week? Move. And a second?
Second.
First from Cruz, second from Bannister. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 vote. Do we need any items from the consent calendar that need to be pulled? Seeing none, can I get a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second, first from Avila and a second from Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes with a 5-0 votes. Moving on to section 9, information and proposal section. This is a. Does anybody have any questions on 9.01? And that for regulation 3515. Looks like it's first reading. Seeing none, moving on to item 9.02. A first review for revised board policy 1312. Any questions or comments on this one? Seeing none, moving on to 9.03. First review for revised board policy 0440. Any questions or comments on this? Moving on to 9.04. First review for board policy 5145. Any questions or comments on this one? Seeing none, moving on to 9.05. A first review for revised board policy 5145. Any questions or comments on this one? Seeing none, moving on to 9.06. Receive revised administrative regulation 4150, employee security. Any questions or comments on this? Seeing none, moving on to 9.07. First review for revised board policy 4030. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, moving on to 9.08. University of Redlands internship program and clinical mental health counseling memorandums. Any questions or comments on this? Seeing none, moving on to board superintendent. Okay, where's here? All right, section 10. Do we have any additional administrative information?
I do. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, a team from the district will be going to the Inclusion Summit put on by the East Valley SELPA. That will include all the districts. And so that'll be at the Riverside Convention Center. So we're excited to do that. I know that this will be number 3 for us, and we have learned a lot about inclusion. And we know that in the times that Jamie and Jim and I are out talking with teachers, that inclusion still is a little fuzzy on how it works and what would be the most appropriate way to do it. And we've listened to a group of teachers in all different places. And so we're excited to go learn and bring information back. Also, I want to thank Michelle Acosta and Chris Dowry for helping to set up the classified cabinet and the teacher cabinet. We had both meetings this past month, and we had a big turnout of teachers and also classified staff. And the 2 meetings were very, very informative for me to give back to the board as well as to Jamie and Jim. I wanted to share that we're meeting once a month, and we were looking at once a quarter, but most importantly, what both teams really wanted was continual feedback. So I'm going to report out just a little bit. Jamie and I had the opportunity to work through the teacher cabinet. We had 2 pages of notes. Mr. Bradley was also in there for safety pieces, and we were able to work on what we had promised we would do: get quick communication out, set up some subcommittees or opportunities for people to volunteer. And it went from safety pieces with Lance to curricular pieces with Jamie, assessments, report cards for elementary, different pieces of what curriculum looks like, what the assessments look like. It was a whole host of things, but the exciting thing about it was that we were working on things that mattered. And so I'm excited that we can work through those, and Jamie was excited today as well. And so she'll start the work. And then with our classified staff, there was a lot of great discussions about professional development, making sure that we have a tiered approach so that, for instance, a 20-year veteran paraprofessional isn't sitting in the same training that they've sat in for the past 20 years, that we're differentiating for our employees the same way we would differentiate for students. And so it was really, really exciting to do that. Chris and Stella babysat. They had Play-Doh and games and a lot of laughter going on in there. And so I wanted to thank them for their time. And we will regulate how often we need to meet, but we do have a way to communicate, which I think is going to be great. It's going to help us to just be better overall. And so thank you, Chris and Michelle, for the trust to get that done. I appreciate it. And then I know that Mr. Kirkland was going to speak on an item with the tech plan. And so I'll skip to, while he's coming forward, ask Jim if he has anything to share.
Just real briefly, want to thank the board for taking the time to recognize National Psychology Week. That's right now, this week. Our team of 9 school psychologists, I'm sure Kathy Pearson, our executive director of student services, would agree. They're an amazing group, and coordinating with all of our certificated staff, our teachers, our classified staff. They're just a wonderful group of individuals who support our students and families. So thank you for that recognition.
I'd like to welcome Mr. Kirkland just to provide more information on the item regarding the district technology.
Good evening, President Vogt, members of the board, superintendents, and cabinet. More foreshadowing than anything else. Next month, provided calendars aligned the right way. We're going to be very pleased to bring to you our 3-year tech plan, going from 26 to 29. That will also include a review of the 23 up to 26 review of what things we've accomplished and strengthening our infrastructure with our district we've made some great strides. There's still a lot of work to do. We'll talk about what that work is. We'll talk about the funding sources that go into it. And we're also going to start talking about AI and district approved and supported initiatives with AI. AI is everywhere. Make no mistake about it. But the district approved part that we can support and train, that's the part that will come. And there might even be a board workshop scheduled around it. I'm not sure about that piece of it, but in the event we'll be prepared and hopefully knock your socks off. So it's just one portion out of it.
Moving on to board member comments.
I just want to thank the principals, Mr. Epstead and Mr. Perez, having a couple of outstanding programs in their school, and I'm very proud to know you gentlemen, and I'm very proud to be part of this board and having such wonderful leaders in our district. Thank you very much.
I wanted to just truly appreciate the cabinet and superintendent Binks for keeping the lines of communication open for the teachers and all the staff and all the great work that you guys are doing. And I've heard many positive things in talking to teachers of how much they appreciate you guys going out there from doing what was it? TK testing and to having meetings with them and continuing to listen and taking back and applying the things that they would need to and want. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate the teachers that are coming to those meetings and voicing their concerns, especially coming up to public comment and sharing their concerns in this setting and in emails. I also wanted to say, you know, this is one of my fun parts of coming here, and I think I've said this before, is coming and seeing what's on this wall. And I think that you are absolutely amazing leaders there at Valley Elementary School. So great artwork. It brightens up my day when I come up here and look at all this great work. I mean, I couldn't do these trees. These and the apples, they're amazing. And happy psychology week. Yes. That was my major, so all right, I love it. I use it every day. Fortunately.
Yeah, right.
Fortunately, yes. Well, thank you very much and happy November.
Also, I would like to reiterate, thanks for the presentation, from Valley and Mesa View. As I said before, you guys do a great job, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity to see it and let you brag on your school. I also want to thank Janice for making the plunge into a new program. I look forward to seeing what's going to happen with the whatever we end up calling the after school program. We'll come up with a good name. And then I too have gotten many letters from teachers. I don't think my politics are a secret. I think we have a broken system. I think we need to fix it. I think it's shameful that our healthcare is so precarious. And I think it's shameful that our representatives are not representing us. And it would make everything so much better if they would do their job. So that's my little soapbox. And I also wanted to say, Kenny Hall, on the nose. I remember being at a some kind of workshop or something, and one of the presenters says, well, in your spare time, you could do this. I thought, then I don't have any spare time. There's this much of it left. So I know that more gets piled on. There is no lack of ideas for cool things you could do in your classrooms or supportive things you could do for your kids. And you guys are killing yourselves doing all of that stuff. And we keep adding on to the plate. If we don't take stuff off your plate, it's your responsibility to shove some of that stuff off because you're in it for the long haul. And you can't keep doing the job you're doing, supporting the kids or supporting the people who are supporting the kids, unless you take care of yourself. And we're not making it easy. I recognize that. But there's also, now, are we gonna get batteries to store energy so that we don't have to close our schools down? We're gonna spend money on that. We're gonna spend money on healthcare. We're gonna spend money on more counselors so that we can support the kids that are having problems. And if we thought kids were having problems last month, this month, they're not getting their SNAP benefits. So it's gonna be worse. So the pressure is everywhere. Unfortunately, I don't think some of our elected officials feel the pressure. I think this body does. We live here, we see it, we appreciate you. But somebody's not doing their job. And it needs to be addressed. Yeah, I guess I have another soapbox. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
I'm gonna step on her soapbox with her and say, I hope you voted tonight. It's probably 10 more minutes. Doesn't matter what side you're on, it's very, very important because the things won't happen if we don't vote. So I hope you did that. Thank you to all the speakers. Kenny, I loved the visual and the symbolism, brain, heart, and hand. 3 things to juggle. Easy, not so easy, but then when you add all those other things, that was a great visual and I really appreciate that. Now I'm gonna ask you to indulge me a little bit, and I practiced this over and over. I have to read it. I hope I don't cry. Today, well, not today, this month is National Diabetes Awareness Month. For my family, this is not just a month of awareness, it's our reality every single day of every single year. All 3 of my children, Bryce, Addie, and Jake, live with type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is commonly misunderstood. It's not caused by lifestyle, diet, or eating sugar. Type 1 is an autoimmune disease. Their pancreas no longer produces insulin, and insulin is required to stay alive. Addie always says that, you know, when they say, what one thing would you want if you were on a deserted island? She'd say my insulin, but then I wouldn't have a fridge. And I run out and then I die. So insulin is very important. Even as young adults, they don't have the typical freedom most people their age take for granted. Everything they do requires constant management, monitoring blood sugar levels 24/7, counting carbs at every meal, responding to every meal and every snack too, responding to unexpected highs and dangerous lows, even during class, during workouts, or in the middle of the night. They juggle school, jobs, relationships, and life, all while making medical decisions every single hour of every day. They are strong. They balance education, careers, relationships, and a normal life, all while making life-sustaining medical decisions every single day and minute. I'm incredibly proud of their courage and resilience. Type 1 diabetes is invisible to the eye, but it is relentless to live with. This month and all year long, I honor Bryce, Addie, and Jake. Not just for managing type 1, but for thriving in spite of it. Thank you for letting me share my family story. Okay.
Thank you for all of those who showed up this evening to speak. And thank you for the emails. If I haven't gotten to it yet, I will. So I appreciate your words. I appreciate the information. I wanted to give a shout out to the girls cross country team. They won the CBL championship this weekend. So congratulations. I believe that's the first one of the year.
Awesome.
Hopefully many more to come. All the things they said about our presenters, fabulous. Thank you for showing up. And if you guys weren't here for the CECA band, you missed a good show. Hope you guys have a great month. We'll see you in December. That means we get to. Yeah, meeting is adjourned.